And here is my Poecilotheria fasciata, the Sri Lankan ornamental. And this one is about 2 inches. I tell you, I think all of my pokies are due for a molt except for the ornata. That one molted not too long ago. But doing awesome. Likes to hang out at the top, but at least not on the underside of the lid like the vittata. Alright, one left of the Poecilotheria. Here's the butt end of my Poecilotheria ruffilata, the red slate ornamental. And again, just like with the ornata, if you want a humongous Poecilotheria, get you a ruffilata. 9-10 inches. Large as all get out. I think this one's a male though, so it won't get as large as a female. But we'll see with the next molt, because again, just like with the larger regalis, the molt was kind of trashed. So hopefully we'll get a good molt with the next. Well, there you go. There's my Poecilotheria collection. And now let's see what genus is next. Next up, we are going to look at my Pamphobeteus species that I have. This one here is the Pamphobeteus nigricolor, the giant blue bloom. This most recent molt, it lost its abdominal pattern, that classic Christmas tree pattern that's on the abdomen of the younger Pamphobeteus. So now it is absent of that. And this specimen here is about 3 inches. And of course, very hair flicky and skittish and all that good jazz that Pamphos usually are. And also excellent eaters. I'm going to top its water dish off and kind of spray around that water dish with some water. And leave it at that. But yes, another excellent eater. They get to be quite large. Can't remember offhand how big they get, 8-9 inches, something like that. This one here is a suspect female, so I'm very happy about that, even though in my opinion the males might actually be prettier, unless I'm thinking of the platyomma. I get them mixed up sometimes. Anyway, so there's the nigricolor. Let's move on to my other one. And here is my Pamphobeteus platyomma, the Brazilian pink bloom. This one is a male and also lost its abdominal pattern with its last molt. So I'm sure it will be gorgeous as all get out. This one needs a rehousing. So that will be next on the agenda of my rehousings, because these guys get big really fast. So it covered its water dish up, gotta fix that. And definitely a genus everybody needs to have. Very skittish and hair flicky, but not much defensive as far as bitiness goes. Alright, we'll move on to a different genus now. And unfortunately, I only have one species of this genus. This is my Phormictopus cancerides, the Haitian brown bird eater, female, 3 inches. Attitude, like most of them have, big time defensive, hair flicky, but very bitey as well. And these guys get to be about 7-8 inches, thereabouts, sometimes even 9 if you have a large female. Females, as you can see, like this one has kind of that coppery sheen on the carapace and overall kind of a brownish color, but it's like a copper color, really pretty. And then the males have more of a purple sheen to them, really nice looking. I think the males are actually prettier, but of course with the females you get the bulkiness. But yep, mean as all get out. One of my most defensive tarantulas in my collection. And it's a new world too, so one of the few new worlds I definitely would never hold. But doing just fine. I would love to get some more color morphs of the Phormictopus. I really would. I think it's definitely one of my favorite genuses out there. So, alright, let's move on to a different genus. All done with the Phormictopus. Next up we have the Phrixotrichus scrofa, the Chilean copper. This is a suspect female, 2 inches. Can be skittish, but has allowed me to handle her, at least for now. We'll see how she gets as she gets older. But very good eater too for its size. Always has been. But has that mirror patch on the abdomen there, and kind of the coppery look around the carapace there, the femurs. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So yeah, definitely one of my favorites. These guys don't get to be very big, about 4 inches I think. But very nice one to have. I don't see many of these in the hobby, but I'd like to. They're really cool. Alright, that's all of the Phrixotrichus. Let's move on to a different one. Alright, time to do the Theraphosa. The only Theraphosa I have are the murinus, the orange baboon tarantula, and I have 2 slings, and one of them was in plain view. Let's see if I can kind of get it to come out. It's hungry, I can tell, but it's not feeding time today. But they do show the orange on their abdomens pretty quick. After all, this one's only about 1.5 inches. And I used to have a communal of 5 of these guys, and unfortunately 3 went MIA, and have no idea where they went. They may have been cannibalized by the surviving 2. Don't know for sure. Oh, there's a look at the orange abdomen. There we go. That's kind of a good view right there. Already has that typical baboon marking on the abdomen there. The dark, the rest of the body still dark, but of course it all turns orange as it gets older, but it starts in the abdomen. But yes, very beautiful, very skittish, very bitey, especially as they get bigger, of course, and very good eaters too. But has done some really cool webbing, of course. So there's that one, and let's take a look at my other one. And of course, I keep these in separate quarters now for obvious reasons, since it was a failed attempt to have a communal. Alright, let's move on to the other baby. And here's the layer of my other one. This one keeps itself burrowed exceptionally well. So it looks just like the last one, so I'm not going to bother digging it up and ruining its home just to show you guys an exact replica of the last one. But another Theraphosa murinus here. And we'll give it some water, and we'll move on to my big female. Here is my full-grown large female Theraphosa murinus, the orange baboon. And it doesn't take much to annoy her. There's the back of her right there. You can see the patterns there, the baboons. And she's full grown now, full adult. Probably won't get any larger than this, I don't think. She's already about 5 inches, thereabouts. She was subadult when I bought her. So she was actually my second tarantula that I got after I had the portery for a while. I decided to become a little bold and go ahead and jump to an advanced species. Probably not a good idea, but I did it anyway. But luckily, never have gotten a bite from this one yet. Hopefully I never will, because they have very bad bites. But you can, let's see if we can show you what little provocation it takes yeah, she's already got her front legs out. She's doing a little threat posture. But she's burrowed so well back in there I can't see her fangs. But yeah, she doesn't take much at all for her to bare her fangs at me. But there she is. And she would rather die than come out of her burrow, it seems. You know, on her own terms, that is. I mean, she'll come out on her own terms, but you can't really easily force her out of her burrow. She's just very territorial of it. Oh yeah. She's not happy. Let's see. Yeah. Sorry we can't see her that well. That just comes with the territory of having one of these guys. But there she is. Mean as all get out. But that was to be expected. Alright, that's all of the Tterinochilus I have. Let's move on. It's time to move on to the Psalmopoeus genus. This is my larger cambridgei, the Trinidad chevron. I was told this one's a female. Hasn't molted for me yet, and I haven't had this one for very long, so I don't know 100% myself, but this one here, despite me feeding it a lot, it still looks like it could use a little bit more food. But this one has been a voracious eater ever since I've had her. Very, very runny and skittish, if you spook her enough. But very glad to have her. Just gorgeous as all get out. Just love the overall green and the orange there. Just gorgeous as all get out. A must-have in a collection. So, and I also have a smaller one. Let's take a look at my juvenile. That one's a male. Let's check him out. Now the female I showed you last is about 5 inches. This one here is my male Psalmopoeus cambridgei Trinidad chevron. This one's about 3.5 inches. Excellent eater, just like the girl. And I've actually had him walk on me before. It wasn't my original intention. It just happened because he got all skittish on me. But he was actually quite pleasant to deal with. Just, you know, they walk kind of fast, that cute little arboreal walk, and they leap about. So that part I had to be on my toes for, but really neat to own these guys. Gorgeous. So that's all the cambridgeis I have. Let's see what other species I have of the Psalmopoeus. This one's appetite is so insane. I was just trying to move him out of the way so I can do some maintenance on his water dish, and he attacked the paintbrush. And that's why it's good to have paintbrushes. That way when they sink their fangs in, it's not going to hurt or damage their fangs because of the brush being soft. But yeah, he has a crazy appetite. And he lunged at that brush. But you can see he's well fed. But he's going to have to be patient because it's not feeding time today. I'm just trying to clean your water dish. And then you had to get all spazzo like that. He webbed all over it like that. I just may have to spray water all over the web instead and let him drink like that. He's just too difficult to deal with right now. Alright, let's move on. Well, this one's not going to show up as well as I'd like, but this is my 2-incher Psalmopoeus pulcher, the Panama blonde, black, and has kind of a pinkish cream-like hairs on the legs. Very beautiful, and they will grow like a weed and eat like crazy. And this one does eat like crazy. So I need to give it some water. But I don't think we're going to get a good look. But there's that one right there. Alright, let's move on to my last Psalmopoeus. This is probably my favorite of the Psalmopoeus. This is the female 4.5-incher Psalmopoeus irminia, the Venezuelan sun tiger. Excellent eater, fast, and also has a very defensive side. Let's see if we can... This one is in pre-molt. There she is, a little bit of a better view. Black with the tiger stripes on the abdomen and the Nike stripes on the legs. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yes, I definitely think this one will molt for me pretty soon. It has an awesome appetite. Oh, I think I better move my fingers. A lot of my tarantulas think that it's feeding time, and apparently even though she's in pre-molt, I think she thinks it's feeding time. So I better get my finger away from there. She's gonna think it's a super worm. Alright, I'm sorry, I got your hopes up. Molt for me, okay? Alright, moving on to another genus. That's all of the Psalmopoeus. Here's my one and only Pterinopelma. This is the sazamai, the Brazilian blue. This one's about 2 inches. And look at it, it did all this. Moved its flower, it stuffed the cave full of substrate. For a new world, this one's very runny and very skittish. Also likes to dig a lot, so I think when I rehouse it, I'm going to give it extra substrate. But for this size, it suffices right now. But has an overall grayish body, but of course has that bluish tint to it if you look at it in the right light. But it definitely will get bluer as the older it gets. But the blue doesn't show up too much right now, just a little bit, barely. But very cool. I'm seeing more and more of these in the hobby, which is great because these are so cool. Alright, did I say these were cool? Yes, they are. Alright, let's move on to the next genus. Yeah, this is my Pseudhapalopus, oh goodness, spinulopalpus, the Colombian salmon. Another very skittish, runny new world. Another about the same size as my sazamai, about 2 inches. Likes to use its water dish as a toilet like my Pamphos do. So we'll have to get another one. Look at that. Crazy. But yeah, I don't see many of these out there. But another very easy to keep one. So I'm going to have to give him a new water dish. Look at that. Very skittish. So there's that one. That's the only Pseudhapalopus tarantula that I have. Very fast. Look at that. Teleports practically. Alright, well let's move on to another one. Here is my very fast teleporter, Selenocosmia obscura, the Borneo rust. Old world burrower. They like the substrate deep and damp. And this one, specimen here is about 2.5 inches. Unsexed. Actually, you know what? This one may be a female, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yes, very, very fast. Insanely fast, like all the other old worlds out there. And also webs, amazing amount of web, like your chilobrachys do. Very similarly. They go all the way around and made some holes. But there it is. So far has proven to be an excellent eater as well. Probably thinks it's time to eat, just like my other ones have. It's going to be sorely disappointed when it finds out it's only watering day. Don't worry, I will make it up to you. Alright, that's all of the Selenocosmia. Let's move on. Next up, we're going to do, I'm going to show you my Theraphosa. I have only one genus of the Theraphosa, but 2 of the species. This is my largest one, Theraphosa stirmi burgundy Goliath bird eater named Large Marge. She's huge. She's not even full grown yet, and she's huge. Like, I don't know, 6.5, 7 inches, something like that. Fantastic eater, of course. Very, hairs are awful, but at least she doesn't kick them as much as my other one does. But female, so she's become a fan favorite. But she decided to hide today, little stinker. But you get to see her a lot in the feeding videos, so all is well in the Large Marge land. Hey, be quiet. It's my dog, sorry. Alright, let's look at my other tea stirmi. And here's my, I guess this would be considered a juvenile. My other female Theraphosa stirmi, burgundy Goliath. And this one readily kicks hairs, unfortunately. But is a fantastic eater as well. So, got the damp substrate, plenty of water. They like it that way. But nasty customers when it comes to those blooming hairs. Whew. Alright, well that's all of the Theraphosa I have. Let's move on to a different genus.